English is such a complicated language. It has influences from all sorts of languages. It is essentially the Punky Brewster of languages, except we refuse to let it grow up and star in Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Oh, also slavery and colonialism. Because of all sorts of reasons that are too long and complicated to explain in this video, a lot of places that speak English as their official language speak a similar but completely different language on a day-to-day basis. For ease of conversation, let's say in the same country, the same people may speak both English and an English-based Creole. Notice I said Creole, not broken English, not talking bad. A Creole will have its own vocabulary, pronunciation of words, sentence structure, but it usually is not prestigious. Basically, the rich, cool kids speak standard English. They sound like the people on American television. And the other kids, well, they speak Creole English. So now, if you say, "This time, I see the item get mashed right up from the wibe last night," a person listening may assume negative things about you based solely on that sentence. You lose the prestige that a person who says, "I have never seen you as inebriated as you were at the party yesterday evening," retain. To complicate the matter, these languages exist on a continuum because they're related. So on one end are the people who say the dog, and on the other end are people who say the dog. And in the middle are the people who say both, and they find it easy to switch between the two. And guess what?
It doesn't matter! No, it doesn't matter!
Not in the large scheme of things. If a person that you're talking to can understand you, then you've accomplished what languages set out to do. Nah, I'm joking. Life is hard. People are jerks and they will judge you based on how you speak. So the ability to code switch based on where you are, what you're doing, and who you're talking with is important. But it works best if you speak both ends proficiently. Which brings me to, money is for furnitures. In Bahamian Creole dialect, pluralizing is different than in English. So instead of saying girls, you might say these gal them, which is fine, except English is a confusing language. So sometimes the plural of a word will have an S, sometimes it's a whole new word, and sometimes nothing happens. In an effort to maintain prestige, a native Creole speaker may attempt to correct what they perceive is an error in the Creole. But in doing this, sometimes they hypercorrect. So they say something that is incorrect by the rules of either language. What's the point? In an effort to be associated with the highbrow, highfalutin muckamucks and hide what we may perceive to be an inferior trait, we often reveal our own insecurities about our heritage. I am saying, don't. I mean, code switch, sure, but don't become so overwhelmed by the thoughts of acceptance and rejection that you lose the ability to communicate effectively on either side. As long as you get your point across, any decent person will listen or at least attempt to. And if they ain't listening to you when you talking normal, then you talking to the wrong people. Besides,
Oh, say it again, Dexter.
they know what the vibe is.
Ah.
Why?